All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. You are here for How to AI Proof Your Career, a new program here on Albert's List where we're talking about how to navigate the new career challenges. This is among one of the hottest topics that we've been seeing out there in the market lately, especially as AI disrupts jobs, changes how people work, and transforms how you do your career planning. My name is Albert. I'm the founder of Albert's List, and I'll be your co-host today with Gretchen Hellman, founder of Outside the Box Careers. You know her from our various resume workshops, our resume teardowns, as well as many other webinars that she's been on here today. And given that she's a career coach, she's no doubt worked with other individuals on how to AI proof their career. She's going to offer her a presentation today. And at the end of today's presentation, you'll also have an opportunity to sign up for our upcoming 6-week course on how you can rewrite and write your career roadmap in the era of AI. Want more details on that and look forward to hearing what you think and having you sign up. Without further ado, Gretchen, over to you.
Okay, thanks so much, Albert. And it's great to see so many people on here. I know, hi, Nina. Good to see you. Nina and I worked together back in the day. Anyway, I'm here to talk about how to AI proof your career with any big market, like technology market disruptive change. There's a lot of questions that go on for people about what does this mean for me and my career? What should I do? Good news, though, is that I had ChatGPT create this image and they've got the person jumping the hurdle the wrong way. So we still have a ways to go right now with AI, but it is moving really, really quickly. So a little bit about me. I am a trained engineer. I have an electrical engineering background, and I worked in enterprise B2B software for almost 20 years of my career with highly technical products, enterprise infrastructure. And I worked in product management and product marketing. And then eventually I led those functions for companies. And so for the past 10 years, it'll be my 10-year anniversary this November, I have been applying all of those go-to-market principles along with the best in life and leadership coaching to help my clients plan, get, and grow great careers. So I've rode this through, through through the spin up to the pandemic, and now through the downturn. And I'm looking forward to the upswing again because I know it's going to come. So, just a note, these are just some of the places that I've helped clients get and grow careers at. By now, I've worked with over 2,000 clients, everything from snow leopard conservationists to artificial intelligence ethicists to CIA agents. So it's really fun. All my clients teach me about the way the world works. And so I have been hearing a lot about AI in my practice. So we're all here because we're really wondering what the future holds. There's been a lot of noise about AI and what's going to happen. And, the noise is so big. A lot of us are expecting it to happen right away. And as we did a poll, we're seeing, in marketing, it's being applied a lot. For the people who are in marketing, are you seeing it lead to layoffs or are you just seeing it lead to increased productivity? What do you guys think, marketing folks who are using AI for content and analytics? Okay, so Nina, hi Nina, is seeing increased productivity, not layoffs yet. So we have seen, okay. So we are seeing it is hurting some industries. And so with any big change, we're going to see some jobs grow, we're going to see some jobs shrink. I do get asked all the time, is AI going to come and take all the jobs? And I always ask them this, if AI comes and takes all the jobs, where is the money going to come from to feed AI? It's just it can't happen. But with a big futuristic shift, those kind of worries can come into play. So I would be shocked if there weren't jobs left. And I know for every big shift, jobs go away and jobs grow. So let's talk about what we know about AI because there's so many unknowns. In fact, I was just doing work for a client there because I work with startup founders too. And there were startup founders that like had this new thing to apply um, AI in this realm of art creation. And we looked and like the companies just aren't doing it yet. Like there's a lot of noise, but there just wasn't a lot of movement when we really looked at the daily practices. So we know that things are changing, right? We know that chatbots are coming into play. We know that like it's being used for content development. We do know that some tech companies recently announced we don't need any more engineers right now. We've got AI writing code. So now they still do need engineers, though. That's the thing. But we do know that certain areas that were maybe previous growth areas are going to be impacted. So things are changing, but they're not settled yet. We're on the precipice of rapid change. So, and when we're on the precipice of rapid change, there are threats. So there are potential threats that AI could shrink or eliminate roles in your field. But there are also opportunities, and there are opportunities to leverage the shift to get ahead of the career curve. And we'll talk about both. So, no matter what, though, like no matter what AI helps out or automates, we will always need to have people to teach, design, strategize, create, market, and sell, care, give, heal, and organize. We will always need people behind these things. There is not a moment where AI is going to be able to learn to do this with empathy. It can learn in like pretended empathy, but it's not going to be a fully empathic thing. It's not going to be able to think through new and innovative problems on the same scale as a human. At least I would be surprised not in the next 20 years. So, as we're taking a look, it was interesting when I was developing this webcast, I really wanted to come up with a chart. And the chart that I wanted to come up with was, hey, based in these areas, here's what you should be doing. I didn't come up with a chart because things are moving so quickly. Here's what we know, though. If AI can do your job, you should be more worried. If AI can't do your job yet, you don't have to be as worried, but you should be aware. So, the jobs that can come for are the ones with chatbots, the ones with data entry, any kind of manual algorithmic things, right? If it can follow a set of rules and get something done, then it's going to cause job shrinkage in those areas. So let's take a historical view because we've been through this a million times over. And I think it can be a little bit more comfortable knowing that it's happened throughout history. So every time there's been a disruptive technology, some jobs have grown and some jobs have shrunk. So in the Industrial Revolution, we said goodbye to a lot of hand weavers and we said hello to a lot of factory workers and our first telegraph operators. That's who came into play. With the age of the automobile, we said goodbye to a bunch of farriers. Those jobs went away. And we said hello to a bunch of clerks. There were a bunch of people organizing things. It was such a huge growth area. When the age of computing came along, right? We said goodbye. Those telegraph operators became switchboard operators. We said goodbye to them because all of a sudden computers could handle it. But we said hello to software developers, project managers, and as the two-person household came into play, we also said hello to a lot more psychologists because we were more stressed and we had more money for self-care. So, and now with the age of the internet and cloud, we are saying goodbye to a little bit more retail. So these things are always growing and shifting. The question is, with AI, where are we going? So if we're going to navigate this disruptive market change, and the challenge is we cannot predict the future. So, and all the predictions about the future Like the only thing that everybody's agreeing on is that there are going to be fewer retail jobs, there's going to be fewer customer service jobs, there's going to be fewer data entry jobs. Other professions will definitely be impacted, but they're not going to go away. Now, what does impact mean? Impact means that those that move with the skills train are going to keep up with the jobs. So it's kind of like every once in a while, I have somebody come to me and they've specialized in mainframe programming, right? Mainframe programming, and that's been dying over time. So they didn't keep up with the skills market. So when we're navigating disruptive market change, I don't like to go directly to the worry because in every kind of market change, there's both a threat and an opportunity. And so I like to start with a vision, and it's a vision of positive change for the future. Then we collect data for situational awareness. We collect data on what the risks are, what the opportunities are, and what some big inflection points may be. Then we create a plan for change and we execute and evolve. For those of you who are in marketing or product, this may sound similar to you, but it's because all the stuff that works when we're marketing products works in the job market. We're just experiencing disruption. And so we need to find our way through it in a meaningful way. So, starting off and creating a vision, it's amazing how often people come to me and they're like, I need a new resume. And I'm like, why do you need a new resume? And they're like, so I can have a better career. And then I say, well, what do you want out of your career? And they say, I don't know. And so my opinion is if you're going to do all this work to create a strategy for yourself, navigating the change in the AI job market, that it makes sense to have a vision for what you really want out of your career. So I want you all to just start by doing this exercise with me, okay? And so like open up a notebook or chat it in the chat, but let's not worry about AI for a minute, okay? Imagine AI wasn't here. And so if everything went right, your career would, sorry, that was supposed to animate in. If everything went right, your career would have more of what? What would it have more of? And write down three things that you would like your career to have more of. Somebody feel free to chat what they'd like their career to have more of. You want your career to have more of mentoring Zoomers? Okay, passive income. Anybody else? So it looks like, Chris, you're going to start a business. Okay. Okay, freedom, collaboration, and creativity. Flexibility, access to top leaders in the industry, ability to get commission. Okay, I'd love AI to get rid of my boring, mundane tasks. Another person wants more creativity. Okay. And so those are all like a lot of those are a lot of like things we want to get like and experience. What kind of work like do you want to do more of? So I would like to do more of this type of work. Is it the same type of work you've been doing or is it different? Okay, Siddharth wants more career flexibility. So for me, like for example, I wanted more human-centered problem solving. That's what I wanted. And that's why I left my career as senior vice president of products because I wanted more human-centered problem solving. And I didn't feel like I had enough. Okay, more critical thinking. Okay, more work-life trampoline. We have a lot of people on here who like just kind of want work to be easier. Okay, they kind of want work to go away a little bit. All right. And so what would you want work to have less of? So less what? I partially left work because I wanted work to have less human friction. There's a lot of human friction I was dealing with all day long. Okay, less administrative work. Well, good. Like AI is going to help you out with that, Esan. Okay, less office politics, less friction. Okay, we all want less friction. Okay. Okay, less drama. So we're really kind of in the human-centered layer. All right. And so okay, so less routine, boring tasks, no value-added work. Okay. Well, that's great. Like for those of you who want to get rid of administration, that's a good clue that you may want to embrace more AI. So, why am I having you do this? When we're looking at this disruptive market change of AI, we can go more of the be going all human route, so ignoring the fact that AI exists and orienting our work towards more human stuff. We can go the full AI route where we embrace everything AI and we make our career all about AI, or we can go the middle route where we are doing like operations, human-centered work, and we're learning how to use AI tools to drive more efficiency. And those skill sets that we have are helping us move forward. So be the owner of an AI conglomerate. Okay. You have to deal with being customer facing and rude people. Okay, Seamus. So maybe you just want AI to deal with all the rude people. So, so we want less process. So that's great. And so what we need to do there, this chart that I would have to create for all these iterations, like of recruiters, right? We know recruiters, AI is affecting your industry pretty dramatically, at least in terms of using AI-based tools to source candidates and find candidates, marketing as well. Some other like industries like project management, not so much yet, like maybe a little bit of AI, like with project management inside. So if we're going to AI proof our career, the first thing is we really want to look to the future and we don't want to look at a generalized report. We want to create our own data model. So for you, AI is going to change things about your industry segment, your profession, and your skill set. And so for all of you, you can even just ask ChatGPT what is changing right now in my industry segment, my profession, and my skill set. It's not perfect, like I did some testing with it, but it'll at least get you on the right track of where things are going. The other thing that you'll also be able to see, the other places to get data points are to get data points from the job boards. So I regularly check I live in the job boards all day. I will tell you the biggest shift that I've seen in terms of AI jobs have been when it comes to software development, like the rising demand for AI researchers with master's and PhD levels, the rising demand for machine learning knowledge. I've also seen that with product managers, with marketing folk, et cetera. But the rest of the industries, like I did a full evaluation of graphic design and what was happening. And there are some like tools that can help, but I haven't seen major motions there. And so you're all going to have to look and really create an understanding for yourself about AI shifts now in your industry, profession, and skill set, and AI shifts for the future. So let me just go to the questions. Okay. And so from that data, we want to sort out risk and opportunities, right? So we want to look at what if everything went wrong, but we also want to look at what if everything went right. So assessing risk, we want to look at the probability that something really bad is going to happen. And so from that data and from what's getting put into place, if you assess what percent of your job AI can do today, if it is over 50%, you really want to start thinking about a career pivot. And with career pivots, like we want to look at some areas that are safer, like what can't AI do? And what percent of your job can AI do in the near future? AI is getting better all the time. Most experts agree that when it comes to real human stuff, like it's not going to get rid of teachers, it's not going to get rid of caregivers, it's not going to get rid of business strategists, it's not going to get rid of creatives. AI is not going to sell things as well as a human, and it's not going to market things as much as a human. So, Anoop, what is your profession? Yeah. So that depends, Anu. So I've worked with front-end developers that are really strategic front-end developers that are making sure that like the front-end systems are like beautifully designed and that, things can work really well together and like so I would agree AI can do a lot when it comes to, HTML and CSS, but there are more advanced front end development work that AI cannot do. It can't create front end library systems that fit the that fit the organization. And Lucy said AI does 60% software engineer, but it cannot handle big ecosystem. I mean, yeah, it can do basic stuff, right? For sure, but can it really think strategically through a human-centered problem and get that thing together? No. And so we want to make sure if we're in software development, for example, that we're really looking towards not just creating code, but how we are really solving human-centered problems and are we positioning ourselves that way? And if AI is coming for most front-end development work, well, also front-end development work has some aesthetics to it as well. So I don't think it's going to get rid of all front-end developers. I would be surprised. I'm just saying. But so for software developers, if you're just creating like kind of simple code, you really, really want to upskill or you want to think about a pivot because it really is coming for those sorts of things. So that would be high risk. Now, the time to get started is now, right? So, like, for example, when Henry Ford's, like, when Henry Ford's automobile factory opened up, what advice would you have given to a farrier? So, that's somebody who shoes horses. If you were talking to a farrier at a bar, what advice would you give them when Henry Ford's Okay, there we go. Learn to change tires, learn to drive cars. Exactly. So 100%. So we can take what we do and we can upskill. And it is really time to upskill if you feel like AI can do 60% of your job. And that's not to make you worry. It's not going to happen immediately, but it is coming. So it's time to get moving. Um, so the other question is, what is the rate at which your industry is embracing Gen AI? So if your industry is not embracing it very quickly, you have a little bit more time, luckily. But if your industry, like retail, for example, is embracing it quickly, like it's time to really kind of get moving. Um, so that's assessing risk. And so the risk today is not going to be the same as a risk in 3 months because this thing is going to be moving. So we always kind of want to be checking in on this stuff. That is interesting, though, that yes, I like that, Albert. So, what is interesting that before the Model T, horses were ubiquitous. And now, if you own a horse, you are seen as wealthy. So, maybe if we have a human customer service agent in, 30 years, we will be seen as high class. So, now let's take a look at the flip side of of this AI disruption. There's also an opportunity to embrace opportunity. In fact, I work with a number of clients to really, it's a great time to establish thought leadership. Um, I had the benefit of being in the very early days of the cybersecurity industry when it was really like nascent and just starting to move. And all of us that got into that industry at that time were able to go on a really amazing ride. Like, I never had to look for a job. And it's because we understood that stuff really, really early on. And so, there are a few different ways to embrace the opportunity. The first is to understand what rules are going to grow with it. So, the rules I can see right now, aside from AI researcher that like require a PhD. So I don't know if we all want to get PhDs in machine learning and AI. But there are some roles that are projected to grow, like AI ethicists, AI designers, stuff like that. I'm starting to see some AI trainer roles. They just don't pay very well. So, and they're all wanting a lot of stuff. So there's not a lot of new stuff out there aside from AI researchers in the job market. But I expect over the next year, as implementations grow and mature, new roles are going to spring up. I mean, what's being predicted is AI ethicists and project managers will not go away. Program managers will not go away because people will always be people and they'll always need to be handled. So, the other way to embrace opportunity is to ask yourself what tools are being implemented to replace or augment your profession and become an expert in those tools. If you become an expert in those tools, then you can ride that wave up and ride with the tools and making sure like that you're making them effective. So for all of you, if any sort of AI enablement is getting put into your department, like raise your hand, see if you can help make it more effective, see if you can team with IT to really make it good. Um, and that will also really help AI proof your career. So another thing is sometimes the hardest, like the toughest moments will lead to the biggest opportunities. And so another way to brace opportunity is based on the risk I see and my career vision, can that support a bigger pivot? Like big career changes can be hard and scary, like really hard and scary. And we need something scarier to kind of be there to drive us through that change. If AI is really going to shrink the number of jobs in your career, like in your profession, maybe it's time to really take an opportunity and think broader about making some shifts and making some changes. I just got done talking with a client that did just that very thing. And it was a hard journey, but he's so much happier. He's so much happier now that he let go of a profession that was really hurting him. And he really honored what he needed in his profession. One more thing about thought leadership, like, when I say become a thought leader, like we can only have so many thought leaders. Maybe I'll say thought leaders and experts. At the very beginning of something, it's so the best time because nobody's figuring it out. There's all this worry and nobody's figuring it out. And so the people who stop worrying and they focus on figuring out how to make it work and how to make it right, those are the people who really are able to ride the wave. So I should probably add another note on how many people here like really want to like embrace the AI thing totally, like go and work for an AI company, all of that stuff. Okay, Fontella does, Lucy does. Okay, so we've got like a lot of AI embracer folks. Is that right? Okay. And so what you're probably finding is, kind of the more pure play AI companies, right? If you really want to get into that clear stream, there's a lot of competition because a lot of people want to go there. A lot of people find that an exciting place to be, a growth place to be, and a safe place to be. Um, so with that, I have helped people get into those companies. It takes a lot of tenacity. It takes a lot of commitment, personal skill building, and it takes some strategic navigation, but it absolutely is possible. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'll add some more of that stuff to the AI 6 Weeks to Success workshop. So, um, and so Pankaj, they want to hire people who already use AI. What do they mean by already use AI? Because like there are a bunch of different ways to use AI, right? There's a way like we can train AI, we can create new algorithms for AI, etc. I can't see his post because I'm talking, but I'm on here, so I can't navigate away. But I was just wondering what he means by use AI. That's all. So Seamus doesn't want to do full embracement, but wants to be in the margin where I can do what it can't do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, everybody does use AI nowadays. I used AI to make that horrible picture of somebody jumping the wrong way over the post. I use it a lot in my practice. It's so nice to be able to just ask it questions about company valuations and everything while I'm creating career stories. Um, okay. They use it as a thought partner. Okay. So so let's talk about how to create a plan for change. So, the first thing that you can do is put together a good idea board. When we're in our head thinking about our career, wondering what to do, it can be kind of overwhelming. In fact, the more I've done career coaching, the more I've noticed this phenomenon that when we all go to help our friends with their careers, it's super easy. Like the world is in living color, like we're thinking strategically, it's awesome. But when we go to think through our own careers, our brain doesn't work the same way. And so like those beautiful spectrums of possibility can evaporate, like things just don't seem as easy and light. So you're really going to want to tool yourself well to be able to think through this. The first thing that you need is a community through all the resume workshops, and we're going to do this with the roadmap for your AI career workshop. We created a lot of community because talking through these things with other people helps our brains work better. It is so much better. So, for all of you, keep an idea board together. And that idea board is any idea you've had about a pivot, a shift, a skill build, what have you. So you've got a list of things to think about and written down, you can evaluate them. On that idea board, there can be different career explorations to have. There could be shifts to a new industry. Let's say everybody's like, you know what, retail was already struggling before Gen AI, and now like there just aren't going to be as many jobs anyway, so maybe I want to like think about leaving retail. By the way, there will still be retail jobs. So I'm not trying to tell everybody to leave retail. If everybody left retail, there would be nowhere to shop except for Amazon, maybe, which would be a little dark. Um, so Oh, okay, Seamus. Yeah, on the acting thing, I think the Screen Actors Guild like made a really good agreement on Gen AI. So career exploration, industry shifts, profession shifts. You also want to have some ideas on upskilling. when it comes to upskilling, I've seen tons of people upskilling and credentialing. I've seen a ton of people invest a ton of money and not really get a lot out of it. So, based on your career vision, where you want to fit, you want to create that upskilling and possibly credentialing program from there. So, like for the people who really, really want to embrace Gen AI and you're working in tech, you want to know a lot about all of it, like RAG and LLMs and how to train the model um, and the transforms. I just finished. I need to upskill on some of the underlying tech and AI. There's a lot. Transformers, thank you very much. So the transformers and all those things underneath. So if any of you are in tech and you want to embrace it, really start taking a technical Gen AI class if you haven't already. There is one, NVIDIA is offering one for free, and I think there's some on Coursera. When it comes to credentialing, I've seen a lot of money wasted on a boot camp. I think, you know, if you really want to go the technical route, definitely consider an advanced degree from the right school. But you don't need to do that if you're like, I'm a product marketer or even a product manager, and I just want to embrace Gen AI. Gen AI. You just want to learn more about it. Um, and some ideas about establishing early expertise. It could be like how to make chatbots human. I have one client, and I started working with her at the beginning of the whole like AR trend, AR metaverse trend, and she really specialized in how to make virtual humans more human. And I helped her establish early expertise on that, and she's like a huge thought leader on that now. So the time to get in on some of these bigger questions when it comes to either a business operationalizing AI or ethics, how to make AI safe, or, different use cases, the time is now. So once we have our idea board, right, we want to execute and evolve. So as you're planning for change, you want to take on right-sized amounts of change. So, like, if you're already busy with your work and it's not changing that much, you really just want to set aside a certain amount of time and play with one idea on that idea board. So if you just take it one at a time, it will go so much easier. You also want to practice quarterly check-ins. So AI is going to move quickly. Like it's kind of like when the internet came or when the PC came. Like when the PC came, everybody's like, computers are going to take all our jobs. Well, they didn't take all our jobs. In fact, they added a lot of jobs. So, but like set an appointment on your calendar, practice quarterly check-ins, check in on the latest trends, skills, and tools with AI relative to your career, industry, profession, all those things. Practice quarterly check ins with your career experience. Am I enjoying this? And also your progress on your idea board and your roadmap for your career. So let's just take a look at a quick case study of somebody who tackled this problem. So Jeremy is a client of mine, and he was in ed tech sales, and he really couldn't stand it. He was the most unhappy ed tech sales guy I think I've ever met. And his career vision that he set forth was he wanted more innovation and invention. He wanted less following processes and flows, and he wanted more leadership. And so he wanted all of those things. So the first hypothesis that we came up with when we looked at it, he was really excited by Gen AI. And it was maybe if I play with Gen AI, I'll find something interesting. And he did play with it and he upskilled and he learned it and he did a big round and of looking for work. And it just didn't connect. It wasn't enough. But he kept at it. And so we decided to make it more formal and we doubled down. And he founded a Gen AI startup with the purpose of like doing something he loved and legitimizing his his Gen AI knowledge because that was the big problem he was running into because it was all privately collected and the job market there was a lot of demand for jobs. He wasn't able to find a way in. From finding the Gen AI startup and really talking about what he was discovering around the efficacy of AI chatbots, he is now employed as the head of sales and marketing as well for a Gen AI startup. So that was his journey. I've had other clients. I had a somebody in product who really wanted to work at the core of Gen AI for one of like the top five AI companies. And they got in, but they were really tenacious. So they really upskilled and they met people and they networked and they navigated and they took no's and they got in. And so now that they're in, they're riding that wave and it feels great for them. And so I'll just leave you with a few things to remember. Like the first thing I want you to remember is it's so easy to want a prescription. And I so wanted to give you a prescription today. And I had to accept that it's too early to give everybody a prescription. Aside from if you're in certain industry, like if you're in certain industries, certain professions where Gen AI can do a lot of your job, it's really time to think about a plan. And that plan could be a profession change. It could be like really upskilling. So Jenny, I can't do all that work, or it could be becoming an expert in the tools. For the rest of us, like we can't know everything now, but we can start with like starting to know. And that's really just kind of like, what do we know now and do we not know? And do regular check-ins just to make sure you're always keeping on top of what's going on. The other thing is it's so easy to look at what could go wrong now that like the moment of AI is here. But it's also really important to ask yourself the question, what if everything went right? What if Gen AI came and everything went right? I know for some people, I've seen in the chat, everything went right. Everything going right means, wow, I can do my job and I won't have to do the stuff I hate. Or maybe even so, wow, I can do the job and I'll become an expert in tools of getting rid of all the stuff that I can't stand doing, the administrative stuff, and then I can help my company and other companies like learn how to do that better. Like that's how we evolve and that's how we AI proof our careers, is that we take a moment, we take an opportunity, and we learn and we grow. And then the last thing is curiosity and experimentation always win over worry. They always will. And so worrying is really easy. But when that worry comes and it's like, what do I do? What do I do? Instead, it's time to ask yourself, what do I know? What can be done? Like, what's a small experiment that I can do and take some action on it? So, and with that, I just wanted to talk about the upcoming workshop that we have. It's 6 weeks to success, build your career roadmap for the age of AI. And so this workshop is going to support taking you through all of those steps to create a new roadmap for your career now that the age of AI is here. So week one, we're going to be doing a career SWOT analysis and evaluating what data you have, what data we have, and what data we don't relative to your unique industry, profession, industry segment, and skill set. Then we're really going to take a look at the possibilities. We're going to build out that idea board with career path ideation, both from a skills and profession and industry level. Then week three, we're going to talk about what's meaningful. So which one of these career paths feels like it would be worth the work to do and feel exciting to do? Then we're gonna set the roadmap. So the roadmap will involve skills and experiments to try. And then our last 2 weeks, because we're going to be evolving in the job market, are going to be focused on you're going to the job market toolkit. So how to professionally brand yourself for the AI age. So you're going to get a follow-up email on that. I think that workshop is it what is it, Albert?
February 19th, starting at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
And
5 o'clock. Sorry, I
yeah.
had that wrong.
And
Change
so
that.
talk a little bit about who this course is for if people are wondering if it's right for them.
Yeah, so it's for anybody that really doesn't feel like they have a vision for what they want to do next in their career, whether it's AI or not. So, a lot of us can feel stuck in our career. AI is causing a lot of career stuckness. And what this workshop does is it's just applying go-to-market best practices to help you create a strategy based on real world job market dynamics to create a strategy to create better results for yourself in the job market. So this is for anybody who wants a better career, AI or not. We're just going to be taking an AI lens for it. So, and with that, I
Excellent.
hope to see you guys all there. And I think we have a few minutes if there are any questions.
Yeah, we've got quite a few questions. Let's see.
Okay.
How can AI be used for people issues, like solving a conflict between team members, or motivating a low performer, or persuading a certain person?
Well, that's a really good question. I think it depends on the model you're using. So, like, I, there are lots of different applications. I'm not an AI application expert. I have used AI in a lot of those instances, but I think that you're going to want to look towards which companies are training models to be able to do a really good job at that. Um, I will say, just some experiments I've had since I've played with it a lot. I have written out, in terms of conflict between team members, I have written out how I really felt about something without filtering it. And then I've asked Gen AI, I've asked ChatGPT to rewrite it using nonviolent communication principles. And it's done a beautiful job. You can feed threads where people are arguing through ChatGPT and say, hey, what's going on here? What does everybody want? Like, what's a way to take the temperature down? And it actually is pretty good when it comes to those types of things, but it does need data to analyze or it does need a prompt. And this is the thing to remember. I, as the human, am the one to need to give it the prompt. That's why humans will always be required because I know that the message that I'm writing is not written in nonviolent communication principles and I'm having it rewrite it in that, right? Or I know that the team is arguing and I'm going to solve the problem of the team arguing, but I'm going to ask ChatGPT those questions. So it's really powerful that way, though. It's really good. In fact, if you have anybody in your family that gaslights you, it's really good to like ask ChatGPT if there's gaslighting, and it will show you exactly where it is and will really calm things down. I'm not saying that's me though. Anyway, so any
Yep.
other questions now that we're getting personal? So, okay, Chris says, how healthy is the job market overall? Um, the job market is a tough job market right now. And, you know, we're seeing some shifts and changes in different areas. Like right now, I think I'm seeing one of the bigger downswings in the cybersecurity profession. So we're seeing downswings in cybersecurity because I think everybody's getting ready for unprecedented removal of regulations. So there is that downswing there. But I am seeing clients still get jobs. The difference that I'm seeing is that it just takes a little more tweaking on the job market. Like it takes like more intentional seeking. The comparison that I'll give, it's kind of like 2021 was like an Easter egg hunt for 3-year-olds where there were Easter eggs everywhere. It was like, ooh, it's just I have so many choices of what I pick up. And now there's just a lot more deep seeking. So deep seek, huh? Get it? I didn't mean to refer to DeepSeek. Um, and DeepSeek is a great example of how like we're just going to need to flow with the tides. Like all of a sudden, like that thing comes out and everybody's like, should we sell our Nvidia stock? Like what is like this new innovation? So it's going to be a wave to ride. So so
Yep.
Seamus goes, is acting and film intelligent in general a field which creatives can be confident that AI will never reach? Well, it's already reached that, but the good news, Seamus, for your sibling is that those fields are already really hard fields and they just take a lot of tenacity and stuff to break into. If your sibling is looking for a sure thing and is not willing to like really work so hard to get in, like it that thing takes a lot of work. I've helped people break into film and television, and it takes a lot of work and tenacity and and some risk. And so I wouldn't say AI is the biggest risk there. I would say that there are probably some other risks there. But have them do a time limited experiment, have them try it for 2 months, and then they'll be able to say they've tried it. And if they hate it, they could stop. It's always easier to make things a little smaller. So, how to overcome the AI that companies use when we are applying for any job? Well, I always say start fight computers with computers, right? And so, like, load up your resume with a job posting into AI and say, like, how would you rank this resume? And see what it tells you. It'll tell you some good stuff. Um, so where I see AI kind of fall off, where I see AI kind of fall off when it comes to that career stuff is that it doesn't understand the human experience of resume writing and what truly builds trust between a resume and a human. So it can source resumes, but definitely don't forget about the human experience. We'll also be talking about that in our workshop. Okay, you guys, it was so good to spend this hour with you. Thank you so much for setting this up, Albert. And we're
Yeah.
doing this again next week. Is that right?
We are doing it again next week. And did you want to answer any additional questions? Or I guess if you do have any questions, here's Gretchen's LinkedIn.
Here's
And
my
you
LinkedIn.
want to come back and do this again next week, we also have an event on February 12th. So feel free to sign up for both, and we'd love to have you back. And again, if you're interested in signing up for the course, if you're looking to figure out what it is that you want to do to build your AI roadmap, let's figure it out together. So we will have another free workshop next week, and we hope to work with you in a group setting. Any final thoughts, Gretchen, before I hit the end button here?
Uh, the last thing that I'll leave you with is it's really normal to rely on worry, but curiosity is the best tool to solve any tough problem about the future. And so when you feel your shoulders go tight, when you feel like your brain kind of shift and go, what should I do? Instead, ask yourself, what do I know and what do I not know? And you'll really find yourself get unlocked, unstuck.
Excellent. All right. We have many more events coming up. Check out our event calendar, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great evening, everybody, and we will see you in the boot camp. Bye bye.